Players, coaches, fans young and old from across the globe, welcome to the Week 6 recap show of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host, I'm your commissioner, I am Timmy Westside, and it is my goddamn honor to be here with you all recapping the greatest league in the world. What did we learn this week? That's how I like to start off every show. I like to take a step back before I dive into the notes, the X's and the O's, the Jimmys and the Joes, and say what came out of this week. Well, we've got a official streak for the better, an official streak for the worse, and Shauner shoved one right at my fucking hoop. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with that game. Yes, the Borland Backhanders. Last week, sometimes you gotta look inwards. You gotta get lost before you can be found. Wander off into the woods. What can I do better? And I think that's what this team did. Because the Borland Backhanders take down the Breakfast Club 222.6 points to 185.1. After last week, I threw out some glaring question marks that, I like to think that this team took to heart. And don't you fucking doubt for 1 second that these boys aren't watching this recap. They're saying, what's the commission talking about me this week? Did I help my boy? Did I fucking get him a win? Or did I fucking not do my part and now he's staring up at a loss? Well, every single one of his players last week, they had bulletin board material. Because I questioned. I said, goaltending, not there. You were 1-4. What's going on? You had a great week a couple of weeks ago, but then you shit the bed. This week, a fucking no spit, no lube, sandpaper finish up my fucking hoop. Most points in the league this week with 222. And I said last week there was a potential turning point. You're at the fork in the road. You're either going uphill or you're going down at the toilet bowl. Well, if this is what's to come, look out, folks. How do you do it? I chirped them last week. Goalies. Matt Murray led the way with 19.7 points, helped out by Matthew Barzal, 18.4. Johnny Carlson, 15.6. His goalies, though, as I mentioned, 5-1-1 on the week for 43.8 points. Good enough for the entire league. After last week, they got, what was it, 10.4? Well, now, that's how you show up in a big spot. That's how you answer the bell. It was Shauner's game from the get-go on Monday. Shauner did not lose one day. Every day, Shauner's team ended with more points than Larry's. He improves to 2-2, where the Breakfast Club now fall to 3-3. Honestly, everyone knows, no one more than Larry, that I am the king of jinx, and you ran into a buzzsaw. A little bit of my doing from last week. Didn't realize who Shauner was playing, but I knew his team would come ready, raring to go, and that's what they did. 185.1 points can get you a win. It could have got you one this week, but when you're playing against a team that is possessed, throwing up 220 points, what are you going to do? You were outscored across the board. His offense scored more than your offense, and his goalies did better than your goalies, who went 3-2-1. Again, not terrible, but that was the buzzsaw. And what was that little beep? Gotta mute that. There's a show going on here, folks. Come on. Lair drops now to 500 on the year. His top goal-getters were... It's right here. Tristan Jarry, 18.1. Mo Sider, 14.6, and Carl Verhaeghe, 14.2. On to next week, 500 in that crowded midfield. Moving on to the Rubber Puckies, our champ, taking on the comeback kid. And last week I popped that big old Rubber Pucky, but Ken, with his duct tape and his, what's the commercial there where like slaps it, stops the leaks? That thing, the Flex Seal. He Flex Sealed the shit out of those Rubber Puckies to take down the comeback kid, 184.3 to 197.2. Good bounce back week again, as I said. The champ is now at 4-2. Back and forth week all week. Kendall actually lost most of the days this week. Ken won 4-3, Chris won 4, but in the end, Rubber Puckies come out on top by 5 points. His top goal-getters were Matty Tkachuk, 24.7. Jordan Binnington, 17.5, and Alexander Barkov with 10.6. As you can see from that, those top two guys led the way. Not a lot of secondary scoring. When your third highest player only gets 10 points, it's not good because no one really stepped up. But B, if you get a win off that, a lot of secondary scoring. And that's how they got it done this week to get back in the win column. His goalies went 4-1-3 for 42.4 points. And I feel, doing the research, looking at the numbers, everyone kind of wants to get to that 200-point threshold and go like, yes, that was a good week. My boys did their job. For goalies, I think that number is 40. If you can get over around 40, if you're in that kind of range, you've got a good shot at winning. Flip to the comeback kid, who did not win. And listen, last week I got into Connor's grill. I got into his fucking mind. And I was like, I want to know what's going on, He had a rough week, and he answered in a big spot. This week, on my therapy couch, is Christoph. Last week, we saw him drop a heartbreaker by 0.4 points on Sunday on the last minute. This week, he loses by 5 points. And this morning, he texted me. That's how I know something's going on. He's fucking spiraling. He says, on Monday, he dropped Buchnevich on November 13th, which was Monday, maybe Sunday even. Anyways, he dropped Forsberg and Buchnevich for Kirby Dach and Knight. Buchnevich and Forsberg went on to have 28.6 points combined, whereas Kirby Dach and Spencer Knight gave him 10.3. And then you lose by 5 points. He's got to take a walk. He's got to look inside and say, what can I do better? Because right now, they're reeling. 1-5, lowest in the league. His goalies went 4-1-1. Good stuff. I didn't get the points, but he had the lowest offense with 139.4 points. You wasted good goaltending, and you wasted Crosby going 28.2 points. Juicy Man, 16.1. and Dylan Larkin going 13.4. Wasted opportunities, wasted ad drops. Take a walk, kid. Regroup. I'm calling out your guys this week. Go be better. You're playing the rubber pucky, so maybe I just fucking skewered Ken Dog. Moving on to the last game of the week. Timmy Westside, the commish, taking on the Burt Macklem squad. And the commish stays hot. Atop of the table, he remains 189.1 over Jacoby, 179. Tight game in the end. I'm now on a 4-game winning streak. A little bit of back and forth. Clearly, it was a close game, but there was one night that really stuck out for me that Jacoby never recovered from. I think he texted me like, I just can't come back from that. Like, GG. On to the next one. On Thursday, I put up 75 points. Talk about it. That's how you get the dubs. And how I won this week, the difference maker is how I've won every week. And I've said it since draft night, my motherfucking goalies. Because Jake outscored me on his offense 153 to 151. Enter my goalie squadron. They went 4-1-2 for 37.9 points, right in that range. As I said, like, that's what you need. To Jacobs went 3-3, only giving him 25.6 points. I win by 10. My goalies were better by 12. Not a rocket Scientologist, but that's the difference. That's how I get to 5-1. I did with Cooch, who had 17.0 points. Roman Josi, 15.2. And Sergey, once again, 12.4. That's back-to-back weeks where my Tampa Bay duo have been in my top 3. Love it. Jacoby now drops to 3-3, so he's at 500 on the year. In that tight pack, who's going to come out? I don't know, but I can't wait to see. His top 3 go-getters were Nylander with 17 points, Steven Stammer with 16 points, and my boy from last year, love you, Markstrom with 15.5 points. Not good enough to get the job done this week, but so heading into this year, I honestly did want to do a recap, preview, collage of like what happened last year in the bigs. Couldn't know how to cut and paste clips from my videos easily, so I was like, fuck it, they're not getting one. But in watching them, I was on Kenny's bandwagon early. Even like maybe after a couple wins, I said, look out for this kid. I didn't think he'd go and win it all, and I didn't think that he would go on a 10-game fucking winning streak. However, I just had something inside me said, I like this team. Kind of cheering for them. They were the commissioner's honor roll team. You know what I'm trying to say? This year, I get that kind of same kind of vibe from Jake. Even though he's 3-3, I like his squad. And Jake, if it matters anything at all, Willie Nylander, 17 points this week. My boy Bobbers, he stinks. You waxed me on that trade. Bobbers has basically lost the net while Willie tries to fucking crush me all on his own. So, I don't know. You're 3-3. A lot of games left. Moving on to next week. All right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Short, quick. I'm recording it properly. Sing better fucking be on. Week 7. What do we got on tap? We got Timmy Westside taking on the Comeback Kid. Oh no. I just sworn myself. Oh fuck. Okay. If Bootsy fucking crushes me, cut this, clip it, right up my fucking hoop. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm on a 4-game winning streak. He's on a 4-game losing streak. I mean, the king of Jinx. Get my jester hat with the bell. Ding 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 ding. Fuck me. Didn't even realize that. Even wrote it down. Game number 2. Burt Macklin squad taking on the Breakfast Club. They both lost last week. Let's see what happens this week. One team needs to bounce back. And lastly, Rubber Puckies going up against the Borland Backhanders. A rematch of last year's championship game. Love to see that. Big spot. If Borland Backhanders can build off this win, take down the champ, improve to 3-4, he's right in the mix. Love to see it. Love to it. Boop.